Look at this thing she's posting here. Chat, look at it. It's right here. She posted this. Let's do some math. Let's get the calc out, dude. We are live and live, baby. In LA, we are going through an event, man. Crazy, dude. Very scary. I'm genuinely feeling for my city right now. I mean, like, look at the pictures coming out of the Palisades. Just horrifying, chat. It is so sad. I've done multiple shoots in this area, like in my time living in LA, and it's beautiful. I mean, like, the Palisades were very, very nice, beautiful area. Cool architecture and the coffee shops that I would stop in. So yeah, I mean, it's just horrible. I'm not even in like the warning zone yet. I'm still pretty far away from all of this. Like, I'm not in any warning zone. I'm not in any evac zone. I'm still relatively safe right now. Yeah, I'm safe in my mansion. I have private firefighters outside, and there's strippers too. They're private firefighters and strippers. In general, I wanted to, kind of go through a bunch of stuff today and then talking about how we got here. There's a lot about the city government that's led us to this place. A lot about capitalism that's led us to this place. I saw somebody in chat say it earlier, but the mayor cut the fire department's budget so that she could give the LAPD more money. Bass's proposed city budget includes more funding for LAPD, cuts for the LA Fire Department. What do I always say? What do I always say?
Say the line, Bart!
We cannot do anything until we address the gutting of the American city by the police unions. Yeah! As we talk about Karen Bass and everything too, this kind of situation was not unpredictable. I think that's something that a lot of people are just defaulting to, like, oh, you're using this opportunity to attack the mayor. No, this is something that you have to plan for. These kind of mass emergency events have to be planned for. And it's true. Didn't the LA controller warn that our depleted finances are going to screw us over if there's an emergency, making things worse? This will cause revenues to sink due to lost economic activity. The city is broke and we will face a rebuild without resources. Awful leadership. Imagine losing your house or apartment, lose your store or your shop, lose your job, lose your pets, lose your memories, possessions gone. Does our current LA leadership give you any hope? Would you have confidence that they meet this moment? Will Karen Bass meet the moment? The answer is no. This is a good link too. Yes, the city controller of LA, Kenneth Mejia, friend of the show. I shot campaign videos to get this guy elected. These are the changes in the city government budget from 2023 to 2024 to 2024 to 2025. Okay, you see up here, this green line, this is the police. This is how much their budget increased compared to every other budget increase. Okay, so the police got $126 million more dollars. The next biggest one was the library system, which got $14 million. W would like to see more. Housing, $10 million increase. W would like to see more. And then let's look at what was cut. General services, minus $14 million. Sanitation, minus $15 million. Fire, minus $17.6 million. Street services, minus $21.4 million. Like, these are essential services that the city has to provide. Street services, that's like trimming trees. That's making sure there's not like big piles of flammable fucking brush sitting in your gutters. And then let me move my camera so that you can see the line of the police budget increase at the top here, plus $126 million from last year. This is not their total budget. This is what their budget went up by. Aging, minus $5 million. Street lighting, minus $5 million. Department of Disability, minus $790,000. The controller, the person making this data accessible and easy to understand, minus $2.5 million. The person doing the education on our tax dollars, yeah, we're gonna cut that.
2 days later.
Okay, chat, now we bring over this. All right, listen, Emma's wrong about this. There's nothing I can say. I don't think all of my criticism for her, I still take her in good faith. This shit was like ridiculous. And I don't even know, to me, this narrative coming out yesterday, it felt to me personally, like if I'm gonna get more real conspiratorial on y'all, this shit felt to me like a fucking PR campaign by the city hall. Lots of people are spreading the $17 million fire budget cut story, and it's just not accurate. Good thread. Let's see what Emma says is a good thread. All right. I am so angry with this. From New Republic, Ellie Hotel Ing. Exactly why the fire department was prioritized amid escalating wildfire season is unclear. No, Ellie, it is clear. The budget wasn't cut. You're talking about a one-time purchase for new breathing equipment. Karen Bass did not cut $17 million from the fire budget. Los Angeles is busy today with better things to do than feed you budget appropriations, so I will. This person does not live in LA, just so you know. In 2023, the department spent $12 million on new SCBAs because the old set expired. This is not a recurring expense. And then they link this article from March 7th, 2023. Okay, so this is like the beginning of fiscal year 2023 to 2024. The Los Angeles Fire Department requests a transfer of funding in the amount of $18 million to its operating budget to initiate the procurement process for an inventory replacement of self-contained breathing apparatus. Hold it! We're going to go deep in here, all right? First off, a transfer of funding is not a part of their 2023 to 2024 budget. This happens all the time in LA City Hall. If you're a nerd like I am, you see them all the time. And let me give you an example. Here's one that just happened this week. When a department needs more money, or they say they need more money, they go to city council and they ask for it, all right? So this is what it will look like, all right? Recommendations for city council action, subject to the approval of the mayor. This is a transfer, all right? They transfer and appropriate $200,000. So here, this one, they just voted on the 7th. So this was 3 days ago, the very beginning of the fires, all right? They're transferring $200,000 from the homeless services account to the LAPD. Okay, so this is not a part of the LAPD's $2.1 billion budget. They're asking for more money, and they're saying, we're going to get that money and we're going to take it from the homeless services account and give it to the LAPD. This is incredibly common, you know, and yes, of course, if you're wondering, there's no way that the city council allowed the homeless services fund to be, you know, to be pilfered by the LAPD, you would be wrong. Of course, it would pass a 9-4 vote. Okay, so that's what that is. All right. This has absolutely nothing to do with what she's talking about. This $12 million was not in their original budget. But let's keep going because she keeps not making sense. She keeps posting shit that makes zero fucking sense. Look at this thing she's posting here, all right? Let's do some fucking math. Let's get the calc out, dude. So let's see. So you see the adopted budget of 2023-2024. Total salaries were $780,926,000. So let's just do that. We'll round it down, you know, that doesn't matter. 780 million, right? So this is where we started. And then if we subtract this other number, 773,962,000, what do we get? The 6 million, the 7 million, that is a deficit. Like the parentheses here mean it was a cut. I genuinely don't think this account understands that. She underlines this here. $21 million in operating supplies goes to $8 million for operating supplies. And again, a $10.5 million cut to the total expenses of the expenses like part here. I understand this shit is boring. It's annoying. If you're not like actually involved in your local politics in this way, which I've been for like, you know, the entire time I've lived here, this has been my shit. Like I pay attention to this shit. I follow budgeting votes. I call my city councilor and I tell them how I think they should vote. Like if my city councilor votes on some shit that is fucked up, I'm at that public thing and I'm yelling at them. Many times I've done this where I go there, I yell at them, I say, listen, Ugo, why did you vote to transfer money from a food aid to the LAPD? Why did you do that? You did this yesterday. And he'll look at me and he'll say, I didn't even know about that. It just the vote defaults to yes. If you're not there at the desk, it just defaults to yes. And I say, all right, well, I think you should fucking pay attention to this shit next time. Like, that's a terrible fucking excuse. You dork. Here's my response. I said, Emma, why are you sharing this weirdo's post that linked to compare 2020 to 2021 data with 2022 to 2023 data at one point, both irrelevant to the discussion, when the official source of info on this, the LA controller, is who everyone is citing on this info? Okay, listen, like, we don't have to speculate, bro. The city controller is the city's accountant, the official accountant for the city of Los Angeles. And he posted when the budget was released, he posted and showed the police are getting $130 million more dollars than last year, and the fire department's getting $17 million less. In response to me quote tweeting the city controller, the only official fucking accountant for the city of Los Angeles, she said, no, a random Twitter graph isn't a source. The city appropriations are the source. Look, the thing that she links me. She posted this. Look, chat, look at it. It's right here. Salary adjustments, $7 million less. Expense adjustments, $10.5 million less. The parentheses mean it's fucking negative. She posted this. She doesn't know what the parentheses mean. I don't understand why she thinks she has to like do this fucking mental gymnastics wrestling match to justify it when we have official sources. Okay? There are people whose entire job is to communicate this shit to us. And you just have to go to them. The fire department is telling you that their budgets were reduced. The fucking city's accountant is telling you that their budgets are reduced. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. This just feels like you were paid by the city of, like, by City Hall as some kind of like PR saving stunt. They thought this would work. It's so annoying. And like, I had people in LA controller's office texting me being like, why did she post this? Yo, the fire department gifting one sub to Pepega hand cannon. Thank you, the fire department. Yeah, how does the fire department have budget for this, for gifted subs?
What's frustrating about this discourse is that even if it were true, focusing not really on city budgetary issues in single-digit percentages as it relates to this story. It's about the capitalist climate criminals who have created the conditions that are leading us to these disasters.
No, Emma, it's about both. It's about both, and it can be about both, and there's no reason that it's not both. I don't like, why does it have to be only one? There's no answer to that. It is both. Our city's finances are in ruin because we are being bled dry by the LAPD. I don't even think that Emma would disagree with it. I don't like this because she's not like thinking. It's just like the only point that exists here is to just say like, oh, well, police budgeting, don't talk about that. It doesn't work. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the LAPD taking all of the fucking city's funding and the fire department, every other department in the city government. It's not just the fire department. We're talking about the fire department now for obvious reasons, but it's every department is saying we're understaffed. We don't have the money to hire people. The city's going broke. Like LA Times, bro. Editorial from the LA Times. LA is broke and the budget crisis is self-inflicted. Fucking hate paywalls, bro. This is from October of last year, okay? Los Angeles is teetering on the edge of a financial emergency. Liability expenses are the immediate cause of the budget adopted by Bass and the council was already overstretched in large part because of expensive raises for police officers and civilian employees approved in the last fiscal year. I don't know what to tell you, man. Everybody's been talking about this. It's not new, and that's why it's so annoying that I see all these people being like, nah, this isn't really a problem. Like, it's been a problem. If you followed LA politics at all, you would have known that this has been a problem. Community groups, everybody who focuses and cares about this has been talking about for years. For years. We've been talking about this. It's not even new.
They're negotiating, whatever. It's not really a cut. It is a cut. The point is that if this is your focus right now, 80% of what I'm seeing, and this is excluding people who are in LA and like having to deal with the city management and like the Democrats in cities. You don't have to preach to me. We deal with it in New York.
Wait, excluding every single person that was in your replies? This is like 80% of what I'm seeing, and not the people who, like, People's City Council, me, Jamie York, the Kenneth Mejia's campaign.
We deal with it in New York. And the fact that so much more money went to cops where it could have been reallocated elsewhere. That is a problem in major cities across the country. But this isn't about LA City in the same, that's a part of it. The overall macro point is that, as you mentioned in headlines, we've crossed that 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold in the year 2024.
Dude, this is not like, that's not a but. If we continue to give $130 million every year, we increase the police budget by $130 million like we have been for the last decade. Good luck. What the fuck do you think our city government is going to be able to do about any of this? Like, they're not separate. Actually, I don't know why you segment these struggles so much. They're actually the same.
We have to be focusing on these climate criminals who are killing all of us. This isn't a regional thing. This is an international
We're going to see
crime
this.
by oil and
Okay, Emma, so what has Karen Bass done about that? What has the LA City Council done about that? They're in charge of the Port of LA. That imports, like, I think 30% of all of United States commodity. Like, the Port of LA is a massive port. They could enact climate regulations that would change the entire world. What have they done about it? But the question is, like, what is the obligation of our cities in their response to that and their preparation for it? Like, what is their obligation? That's the conversation that we're all having here. And you guys don't want to, you guys are actively avoiding and saying that's not the conversation. Like, you know, it's actually a pretty big part of it. I don't know. It's weird. Like climate action can only happen on a national level. Like, I'm sorry. You should be advocating for your climate to your local officials too. And like, let me tell you, the LAPD are not they're not out there fighting against climate change. Like, I don't know, you know, like that's not, that money is not being used to help fucking fight climate change. Like,
And that is why you will hear argument after argument ad nauseum about 0.0001% of the fire department budget, and it'll go.
It's not that, dude. That would be like $80,000. Like, I could do that math for you right now. That'd be like, that's not what we're talking about. $17 million. And if you compare it to what they actually asked for, their budget, you're comparing it to what their budget was last year. What you should be comparing it to is what the LA Fire Department asked for this year, which was $100 million more. Also, I will say that there's like a big difference between the LAPD, which is notorious for overtime fraud. It is an open secret that police abuse overtime fraud constantly. I just like comparing the LAPD to the fire department in general. But the money is like a second slap in the face. The first slap in the face is what they do. Like the job that they do, which is evicting people from, throwing families out into the streets, evicting people from their homes, locking people into cages, harassing black and brown people in the city. You know, like these are, you can't compare that. But again, my problem is with the LAPD is not just that they steal all of our city's finances. It's that they're the LAPD. I have a problem with cops. I have a problem with incarceration. I have a problem with over-policing of black and brown neighborhoods. I have a problem with the historic racial animosity that continues to this day of the LAPD. I don't have those problems with the LA Fire Department. You understand?
But notice that none of the people who are focusing on city budgets and management right now are talking about the cops, who got a ton more money. And if you want, and if